Support for the local government news roundup comes from Rath Engineering Development, smarter systems for local government, like Red GMS, helping councils manage gravel pits and projects, track quality, test results, blending options and haulage, and know the true cost per tonne from day one. Rath Engineering Development can give you a one-off report that uses your existing pit data to pinpoint the best gravel sources for your next resheeting program or disaster restoration works, saving your council time and money. For local government systems built from real on-the-ground experience, talk to the team at Rath Engineering Development. Head to rathed.com.au to find out more. Coming up, Wyndham's mayor digs in as the council passes a no-confidence motion. A Tasmanian mayor drops a political bombshell. Gold Coast claims success with its homelessness crackdown. Victorian councils challenge the state on roads funding and planning rules. Major projects under review as costs skyrocket. A trip to Dublin draws criticism for a Sydney council. The full cost of Broken Hill's legal troubles revealed. And resignation threats in Tasmania over the use of Acknowledgements of Country. Hello, I'm Chris Eddy, back with more news from and about councils across Australia and beyond. It's the Local Government News Roundup, brought to you with the support of our founding sponsor, the Victorian Local Governance Association, the national broadcaster on all things local government. From Symphony 3, simple, connected customer experiences, and from Rath Engineering Development, smarter local government systems built from real on-the-ground experience. Thank you for listening wherever you are in Australia or around the world. It's Tuesday the 28th of April 2026 and here are today's top 3 stories. The embattled Mayor of Wyndham City Council is set to return to office shortly, despite unanimous calls for his resignation and a vote of no confidence passed by the council last night. Preet Singh stepped aside on April 1st following revelations he provided a character reference for a convicted child sex offender, an action he has since described as an error of judgment. A third community rally was held on Sunday with more than 100 residents gathered at a local park near Councillor Singh's home, chanting for his resignation, according to the Point Cook Wyndham leader. Regardless of last night's no-confidence vote, the Local Government Act does not allow a council to remove a mayor during a one-year term. The ABC reported that Councillor Singh has dismissed the backlash as a politically motivated campaign, and he maintains his actions were legal. Last night's meeting was held online with remote attendance and no public gallery, and the same arrangements will apply to tonight's ordinary council meeting. Councillor Singh has confirmed that he will chair tonight's meeting, which will include consideration of the draft annual budget. In Tasmania, Kingborough Mayor Paula Wright has dropped a political bombshell, announcing her resignation on Friday after nearly 3 decades in the public eye. Ms Wright says she's stepping away from the role on the 27th of May to become the new CEO of the Tasmanian Council of Social Service. The municipality's first female mayor says she's had enough of the toxic behaviour and social media vitriol directed at public figures. She says she no longer wishes to be a part of it. Deputy Mayor Claire Glade-Wright will step in as acting mayor. Because the resignation falls close to the next election, a costly by-election will be avoided. However, with Councillor Glade-Wright currently campaigning for the legislated council seat of Huon, the council may face further leadership changes. Councillor Wright says while her political chapter is ending, she remains committed to serving the community through her new role at TasCos. Tasmania's Local Government Association has congratulated her on the appointment to TasCos, saying the move is a win for the social services sector. And a new report presented to the Gold Coast City Council has labelled its compliance-led approach to homelessness a success, despite claims from advocates that it's merely shuffling vulnerable people from one park to another. The Guardian reports that council rangers are now proactively patrolling hotspots and issuing move-on orders to dismantle tent cities. The report suggests the strategy has had positive results, including deterring homeless people from moving to the region. However, the crackdown comes as the Gold Coast officially overtakes Sydney as Australia's most expensive rental market. Homelessness advocates who've recently kicked the council off their regional roundtable say the policy is failing. They argue that without more housing, displaced residents, including those in wheelchairs and with chronic health issues, are being forced into a cycle of constant relocation. And those are today's top 3 stories here on the Local Government News Roundup. Now, for the rest of our Victorian report, a growing rift between local councils and the state government over infrastructure and planning heads the roundup. Greater Shepparton Mayor Shane Sarli is warning that the state's announcement of $1 billion regional road maintenance is a status quo figure that won't fix long-term structural failures. Councillor Sarli noted that no specific works have been flagged for Shepparton's freight routes and is backing a call for an additional ongoing $500 million for regional roads. Mornington Peninsula Shire is challenging the state over retrospective planning law changes. Acting Mayor Paul Pinjaro says new rules requiring developments to start within 3 years, even for permits already issued, have created significant uncertainty for residents. The council has formally requested exemptions from the Planning Minister for existing permits. In Northcote, a new 24/7 McDonald's is a go on High Street. VCAT has overturned Darebin Council's earlier refusal. While the fast food giant touts a $2 million build and 100 new jobs, ABC News reports local concerns regarding the character of the street and the impact on small businesses. Darebin Council says it respects the tribunal's decision and will work with the applicant and traders to ensure the amended permit conditions are implemented appropriately and on minimising impacts on neighbouring businesses, residents and local amenity. Rising costs are forcing several councils to pull the plug on major projects. Surf Coast Shire is expected to abandon plans for a $73 million cultural hub in Torquay. The Geelong Advertiser reports that after 6 failed grant applications and a $20 million price jump since 2021, officers recommend pivoting to smaller projects like a $1.5 million library refurbishment. In Melbourne's southeast, Greater Dandenong councillors are considering a U-turn on the state-mandated purple glass recycling bins. The Star-Journal reports that projected costs to ratepayers have risen from $13 to $16 per household per year. With the container deposit scheme proving successful, some councillors argue the extra trucks are an unnecessary environmental and financial burden. Mornington Peninsula is also pushing back on waste misinformation, clarifying that their rising fees are driven by state mandates and the closure of the Rye landfill. The Lebanese community in Greater Dandenong is demanding an investigation after being locked out of an April 20 meeting. The Star-Journal reports CEO Jackie Wetherill closed the gallery, citing safety concerns, but residents claim Victoria Police had actually advised that risks had subsided. The subsequent motion to show solidarity with the Lebanese community was defeated. In the Alpine Shire, Mayor Sarah Nicholas is calling for calm and respect following a backlash over childcare fee increases. Councillor Nicholas condemned reports of racism and vilification directed at staff of Alpine Children's Services, stating such behaviour has no place in the community. Meanwhile, Maribyrnong Council is scrapping its controversial private security trial in Footscray. According to the Herald Sun, the council will instead trial the Footscray Welcome Crew, pairing social workers with practitioners. Some have welcomed the therapeutic approach, but local traders remain sceptical, citing the worst levels of vandalism and drug activity in 2 decades. Looking ahead, the city of Ballarat is gearing up for a state election. They've launched a pitch for 8 growth-enabling projects ahead of the November poll, ranging from a new Wendouree library to massive housing and recycling infrastructure. The new plan is supported by 8 Ballarat organisations representing education, tourism, local government, business and essential services. In Merribeck, a new community battery trial is coming to Fawkner. Delivered with the Victorian Government and Gemina, the neighbourhood-scale battery aims to share solar benefits with low-income renters and social housing residents who can't install their own panels. Cardinia Shire Council has acknowledged the state government's gazettal of the Lang Lang Strategic Extractive Resource Areas project and says it's waiting for further details to be released. The council said it would review the new SERA against its 2024 submission and provide a further update once more is known. And a bit of good news now. After 2 years missing, a 13-year-old cat named Duke has been reunited with his family. Northern Grampians Shire Rangers found the stray in St Arnaud, over 100 kilometres from his home in Ballarat. Mayor Karen Hislop says the reunion was only possible because of Duke's microchip, urging all owners to invest in the $70 procedure. Also making news, Greater Dandenong has officially named its new multi-million-dollar facility Oasis Aquatics and Wellbeing, following extensive community consultation that showed a deep emotional connection to the original Dandenong Oasis name. Port Phillip City Council has signed off on a new building blocks partnership with the state, which will see major upgrades to 6 children's centres in St Kilda, South Melbourne, Balaclava and Elwood. The state is putting in $16.5 million on top of the council's $18 million, expected to add more than 60 new places by 2029. And Mount Alexander Shire Council has approved a 24-hour cat curfew, meaning pets must be contained on their owner's property at all times. There'll be a 6-month education and transition period before enforcement. Mayor Toby Hayden says the focus will be on helping owners to make the change. This is the Local Government News Roundup, brought to you by our founding sponsor, the Victorian Local Governance Association, staging another global executive live panel in partnership with the LGIU from the UK. It's happening this Thursday from 5:30pm Australian Eastern Standard Time. And the topic is about the changing role of councils and the breadth of councils' role, including advocacy and delivering services on a day-to-day basis. We've got a great panel lined up for you, and we hope you'll be part of the conversation. If you'd like to be so, head to the VLGA website, check out the events page to find out more and to register your place for this week's Global Live panel. Hope to see you there. Time for today's New South Wales report, and we begin in Western Sydney, where Blacktown City Council is under fire for a $42,000 delegation to Ireland. The Sydney Morning Herald reports the 9-day trip to Dublin and sister city Enniscorthy includes the Mayor, the CEO and 4 youth delegates. The mission is to secure funding and expertise for 3 new Gaelic football fields. While the trip's cost rose by $8,000 due to flight path changes, Mayor Brad Bunting has dismissed junket claims, arguing that the potential for international investment in local sports far outweighs the travel costs, even as the council weighs a rate increase for residents. In the CBD, the City of Sydney is using data to defend its expanding bike network. According to the Daily Telegraph, a new public bike counter on Oxford Street shows over 760,000 riders have used the lane since last August, while the council points to a 28% surge in usage as justification for a 1.8 kilometre extension to Centennial Park. Local businesses aren't convinced. Operators told the Telegraph that the loss of parking has devastated trade. Despite community warnings of traffic chaos, the council is moving full steam ahead. Further afield, 2 councils are coming clean about their bottom lines. Broken Hill City Council has promised full transparency over the legal saga surrounding its civic centre. Mayor Tom Kennedy expects shock and anger as the council reveals a projected shortfall of over $5.8 million. Despite winning a multi-million-dollar settlement against former lawyers, the total legal spend has hit a staggering $14.4 million. Meanwhile, there's a phenomenal turnaround at Shoalhaven City Council following a dire 2023 review that labelled the council unsustainable. The Daily Telegraph reports that CEO Andrew Constance has unveiled a draft $520 million budget. The deficit is forecast to shrink from $35 million down to just $6 million by 2027. However, it is a bittersweet recovery. The improved books come after pausing $60 million in community projects and facing a massive $280 million maintenance backlog. To the border now, where Albury City Council is joining the fight to fix the rural health crisis. The Border Mail reports councillors have endorsed a 6-point rural health action plan championed by Wagga Wagga MP Joe McGurr. The plan calls for a GP guarantee and a dedicated rural health watchdog. While the vote was nearly unanimous, the chamber saw some debate. Councillor Alex Glacken labelled the plan loose and generic, while Deputy Mayor Jess Callaghan argued it's a vital step towards the region finally getting its fair share of the pie. And finally, a win-win deal in Maitland. The City Council has approved the sale of land in Rutherford to Club Maitland City. The deal paves the way for a major club renovation and a brand new childcare facility. Crucially, the club has committed to building a new not-for-profit centre before the old one is demolished. Council says the move boosts the budget and removes the headache of maintaining an ageing building. Let's go to Queensland now. We begin in the southeast, where a decade-long partnership has come to an end. The Walker Group has officially withdrawn from the multi-million-dollar Toondah Harbour development in Cleveland. The project, formalised back in 2015, was meant to revitalise the vital maritime link between the mainland and North Stradbroke Island. Redland City Mayor Jos Mitchell says that while the withdrawal was unexpected, the council respects the commercial reasons behind it. Despite the blow, Mayor Mitchell insists rejuvenation of the precinct remains a long overdue priority and says the council will now work with the state government to determine the next steps. In the city of Moreton Bay, a world-first initiative is proving that simple technology can save local wildlife. Following a successful trial with 0 recorded fatalities, the council is rolling out 49 permanent fauna escape hatches across hotspots like Joyner and Petrie. These one-way gates allow koalas, echidnas and bandicoots to exit dangerous road corridors back into the bush, while preventing them from wandering back into traffic. Mayor Peter Flannery says the project is now expanding, with larger hatches currently being trialled for kangaroos on Bribie Island. Councils in the north are moving quickly to address housing and infrastructure demands. The Cassowary Coast Regional Council has reached a milestone in its plan to divest its community housing portfolio. Following a rigorous selection process, Mayor Teresa Millwood announced that Regional Housing Limited will now manage 10 local properties. The move is part of a strategy to hand housing over to specialists who can sustainably grow the network. Meanwhile, Cairns Regional Council is chasing $45 million from the state's Residential Activation Fund. The bid aims to fast-track water and road upgrades in the Southern Growth Corridor, including Mount Peter. The goal is to get the trunk infrastructure in the ground now to unlock new housing lots sooner. And wrapping up the Queensland report with some movements in the chambers, the field is set for the Central Highlands Regional Council by-election. 5 candidates have nominated for the seat, recently vacated by Gay Cypher. The Electoral Commission of Queensland has confirmed the poll will take place on Saturday, May 16th, with 10 booths open across the region. And in Gympie, a change in leadership. Councillor Warren McEwen has been elected Deputy Mayor for the next 12 months, defeating Councillor Dolly Jensen in a 5-3 vote, according to the Gympie Times. Councillor Jensen steps down after 2 years in the role. Around the rest of the country we go, starting in Tasmania, where the Northern Midlands Council has voted to maintain its Acknowledgement of Country at committees, despite a push from a local committee to make the practice optional. The Mercury reports that some committee members warned they may resign, describing the practice as divisive. However, the council defeated the motion 6-2, instead referring the matter to a broader policy review due later this year. In Hobart, property owners looking to join the short stay market are in for a massive shock. Following a tight vote last night, application fees to convert a home into visitor accommodation will surge from $435 to $5,000, a jump of more than 1,000%. While most of the city's 1,100 fees are rising by a standard 3.5%, ABC News reports this specific hike is the steepest in the new schedule. Other notable changes include a $1,250 annual registration fee for dangerous dogs and a potential doubling of long-stay parking rates. Moving to South Australia, the city of Onkaparinga is defending its ambitious green targets. The council recently increased its tree planting goal to 150,000 by 2037. Despite claims from critics that the project could cost ratepayers $60 million, Mayor Moira Weir has dismissed those figures as incorrect. She clarified that while street trees require more investment, many of the new plantings will be more cost-effective seedlings and tube stock in local reserves. In Burnside, a one-off payment of $161 for a pair of broken glasses has sparked a wider conversation about workplace safety. Adelaide Now reported that the councillor requested the reimbursement after a fall in the council chambers, while the CEO stressed that the unanimous approval shouldn't set a precedent. Councillor Jenny Turnbull is now calling on the state government to clarify the legal status of councillors under workplace safety laws. And in Murray Bridge, councillors are heading back to school of a sort. The Chamber has unanimously supported a motion to receive formal training in artificial intelligence. The initiative aims to help representatives better understand the technology and ensure the council has a solid framework for its use. And over in the West, it's a new era for the City of Nedlands. In its first formal meeting since being reinstated, the council appointed former diplomat and local government expert Jenny Matthews as Deputy Mayor. Perth Now reported that the tone of the meeting marked a significant shift for the long-troubled council, which has also extended the contract of interim CEO Arthur Chiron for 6 months, while the hunt for a permanent replacement begins. In the north, the Shire of Derby West Kimberley is reassuring residents after a state audit flagged financial pressures, while the Shire is one of 4 local governments with a current ratio below 1. CEO Tamara Clarkson says they are not a going concern risk. She attributed the tight books to the rising costs of remote services and the ongoing recovery from ex-tropical cyclone Ellie. Meanwhile, a piece of Goldfields history has come home. The World War I service medals of Private Edward Erskine Poynton were handed over to the Kalgoorlie Boulder War Museum on the eve of Anzac Day. After disappearing decades ago, the medals were found with a London broker and purchased by a visitor who recognised Poynton's name on a local roll of honour. Mayor Glenn Wilson described the handover as welcoming one of our own back home. And a few updates from the Executive Suite. The Shire of York is holding a special meeting today to discuss a draft contract for a new CEO. Alina Behan has been filling the role since Chris Linnell stepped down late last year. And at Lake Grace Shire Council, CEO Alan George is back at his desk this week following a knee replacement. He returns after a 2-month recovery, with the council thanking Aaron Wooldridge for stepping into the breach. Time for some international news. We begin our global roundup in the UK, where local government pension schemes have hit a record valuation of £550 billion. According to This Is Money, a strong global stock market has significantly bolstered the retirement funds of millions of council workers. While this provides a substantial safety net for authorities facing tight budgets, analysts warn that inflation and shifting demographics continue to loom over long-term liabilities. In London, The Standard reports that Camden Council, the Prime Minister's own backyard, is bracing for a major political shake-up. Recent polling suggests the Green Party and Reform UK are poised for significant gains, potentially moving the council to a no overall control situation for the first time in decades. And in Wales, a Newport City councillor has been ordered to undergo extra training following a watchdog investigation. BBC News reports that independent councillor Janet Cleverly was found to have breached the code of conduct after telling a council call handler to speak English during a conversation about fly tipping. While Councillor Cleverly apologised and cited frustration over a poor phone line, the committee labelled the comments discriminatory. Across the Atlantic, Philadelphia is looking to the tourism sector to solve its homelessness crisis. USA Today reports that Mayor Sherelle L. Parker's new budget proposes a 2 percentage point hike in the city's hotel tax. If approved in June, the $110 million raised would fund roughly 1,000 additional shelter beds and support services over the next 5 years. In Washington, D.C., the mayor is bringing back juvenile curfews following a string of disruptive teen takeovers. Under the new order, those under 18 must be off the streets by 11 p.m. citywide and as early as 8 p.m. in specific zones, paired with new family accountability programs. In Canada, the financial toll of the homelessness crisis is coming into focus. Saskatoon City Hall estimates that responding to encampments and providing shelters is costing taxpayers $4 million a year, with a total of nearly $16 million projected through 2027. In Thunder Bay, the council is back to plan to lift councillor and mayor pay by 9% annually starting in 2027. Proponents argue it's necessary to attract candidates, though critics warn the increase may be a tough sell for residents. Meanwhile, in Winnipeg, Councillor Russ Wyatt has been recommended for removal from all committees and boards. Mayor Scott Gillingham says the move is necessary to maintain public confidence following a sexual assault charge against the councillor. And in Vancouver, the city is stepping towards a Major League Baseball expansion. Mayor Kim Sim says while the city is looking for an ownership group, there will be no public funding for a franchise or stadium. And finally to New Zealand, where Christchurch has a new hand at the helm. Bede Karen, the council's current CFO, will step in as interim chief executive from May 2nd. Mayor Phil Major says Karen's deep institutional knowledge will provide steady leadership as the council navigates upcoming legislative changes. In Tauranga, Mayor Mahi Drysdale is defending his use of an electric council car for official duties. While the Taxpayers Union told RNZ the car sends the wrong message during a cost of living crisis, the Mayor argues it's far cheaper to run than claiming mileage and stays within strict price limits. And in Auckland, illegal dumping has reached a crisis point. One News reports over 24,000 incidents this year, resulting in a $3 million clean-up bill for ratepayers. To combat the surge, the council has launched a new AI assistant to help residents report everything from roaming dogs to missed bins and illegal waste. And that's the latest from the Roundup, edition number 579, recorded on Tuesday the 28th of April 2026. If you have any comments, feedback or story ideas, you can send me an email to chris@lgnewsroundup.com. If you'd like to know more about this episode, you'll find a transcript with story links by heading to lgnewsroundup.com. The Roundup is brought to you by the Victorian Local Governance Association, the national broadcaster on all things local government, with a new global executive panel coming to you live on Thursday. Check that out by heading to the events page of the VLGA website. And we receive support from Symphony 3, simple, connected customer experiences, and from Rath Engineering Development, smarter local government systems built from real on-the-ground experience. They've built our fabulous new website. Check it out if you haven't already at lgnewsroundup.com. That's where you'll see breaking news between episodes of the Roundup, which generally come to you 3 times a week. Just twice this week. Our next episode will be with you on Friday. The Roundup is recorded in the city of Greater Geelong, Victoria, on the land of the Wadawurrung people of the Kulin Nation. Until next time, thanks for listening, and bye for now. Support for the Roundup comes from Symphony 3, allowing councils to connect their systems securely, to automate their data flows and to monitor performance in real time. And right now, councils are lining up for their own emergency dashboard, like the one that Symphony 3 has created for the city of Greater Bendigo. The dashboard helps keep the community safe and prepared before, during and after emergencies. It pulls together live data, including weather data, traffic data, emergency incidents, unplanned and planned disruptions, news and social media feeds. Visit www.symphony3.com to learn how you can get an emergency dashboard for your community.